Our program today is fairly straightforward. I like to talk about webinars as speed webinars. We're all very busy in our daily life, and typically these don't need to go an hour for you to get a good takeaway and some good solid information for you to learn from, as well as to generate additional questions or additional research for you and your organization. So we'll have about 30 to 40 minutes of content. We'll talk a little bit about who Direct EDI is just at the outset. I'm then going to discuss some challenges around your in-house EDI groups, and then I'm going to focus more specifically on the topic at hand today, which is around automated testing and some onboarding of your vendor community. As Jen mentioned, we are going to be conducting a live web-based demonstration of our automated testing portal, and then we'll be wrapping up with some questions at the end. If you have questions that are not answered, please feel free to contact us directly at Direct EDI, and there'll be contact information available to you at the end of the program today. So without any additional delay, I will move on to the crux of the program. So let's set the page here for what we are going to be talking about. First of all, let's just make some assumptions. I'm assuming that I'm talking to an audience that has at least some internal in-house EDI capability and resource. Some of you may be departments of 1 or 2. Some may be departments of 10 or 12. In any and all of those cases, I'm sure that you would all agree that your EDI relationships with yourself and your trading partners, individual vendors, and your supplier community at times can be very overwhelming, somewhat complex. Certainly, if we think about just some of the challenges that face us, we could all agree on some portion of this list. You are being asked by the top-level management in your organization to figure out how to get 100% compliance over a global supply chain, which in and of itself is a daunting task. You are asked to set up and establish communications infrastructure, build and update acceptable maps, inputs, outputs, and throughputs, maintain translator software in-house or at least relationships with hosted translator or hosted software providers. You're being bombarded every day with questions around onboarding and compliance, constantly being asked to maintain item catalogs, etc. And at the end of the day, if we were to sum it all up, to serve as the ultimate knowledge base for all EDI-related data issues for your entire community, as well as your internal support and management community. We believe there's significant value in the services that you as an internal EDI resource provide to your organization, and we believe that most companies are not willing to fully give up on that, and therefore not willing at this point, if they've made an investment, to fully outsource all of their EDI needs. We can support organizations that want to do that. However, we also want to support organizations with automated tools to make themselves more efficient and more effective internally. In essence, when we're attacking this problem of overwhelming and complex business relations and business needs on a regular basis, we want to figure out a way for you to focus on those things that are the most time-consuming, most frustrating, and most expensive, and provide you with an automated solution to be able to do more with less. What does that look like? In a picture, it could look something like this. Everybody does automated testing, right? Everyone offers testing, outsourced testing, and certification compliance. What makes you different? Well, first and foremost, it's the way that we deliver the service to you. Yes, we are happy to act as your executor of the testing and compliance, but as I've said many times over the last few minutes, we believe companies have made an investment in you and in the internal group to be able to do this themselves, and what they really just need are some tools to become more efficient. So we can serve up this tool to you inside of a SaaS-based model where it's paid for on a subscription basis. You are in control. You maintain the stickiness and the relationship with your vendor community to the extent and to whatever level you want to. Direct EDI simply provides the support personnel on the back end to work with you directly or with your vendors if that's the way you want to operate. We're different because our system is on demand, available 24/7 to you and to your vendor community. We are not hampered by folks that may be working in time zones where we don't have telephone coverage or you're not prepared to answer the telephone or answer an email for several hours. The system is wizard-driven so that any of your vendors could actually drag themselves through the testing process. We've tried to create a very user-friendly interface that allows them through an intuitive wizard format to be able to accomplish the task they need to accomplish without burdening you with lots of questions. One key difference that I see over and over again is that most folks in our space will tout that they have real-time testing. In fact, that's not true. Real-time testing would give people immediate feedback as to the pass and fail of the files that they're trying to push through your EDI systems. I will demonstrate for you today what real-time pass-fail response really means. Vendors want to test with real-life data against your actual business rules. Most folks today that offer testing and certification services provide sample data. Sample data such as a purchase order with an item number of 123 doesn't account for a vendor that may have an item number that's 12-3. We actually allow them to test with these types of data in their system so that when you are receiving documents from them, they're coming across error-free. And the last point I want to make before we get into the actual demonstration of the testing environment is what we call cross-document validation. This is something I think that really helps to differentiate Direct EDI from most of the other folks that are offering these types of services. We provide a multi-platform check for business rules against original purchase orders, against original documents, as I had already mentioned. So what does this really mean? Well, we go well beyond the simple format validation. As I mentioned just previously, and I want to bore into it a little bit more, you can populate forms with your actual data. We make sure that the forms match back to the original purchase order and business rules. For example, if we provide you or you provide your vendors with a sample PO with a ship date field, and your business rule requires that the shipment be 3 days or less, and they don't put a date into the sample file, to the sample test file that in fact matches that rule, but they skip over that step, we will actually tell them that and cause an error. So they are constantly reinforced based on your business rules and what your requirements are. We have a real-time wizard that will automatically show them where those errors are, call them out, highlight them, and give them guidance on how to fix those errors.